First tonight, the shock news that rock legend David Bowie has passed away after an 18-month battle with cancer. For the latest, we're joined from London by reporter Amelia Ballinger and in LA by Nine Entertainment editor Richard Wilkins. First to you, Amelia. He was London-born. He had his first hit in the UK with Space Oddity in 1969. This news is going to hit hard there today.
Yeah, it absolutely will, Layla, and people are just waking up to this at the moment. It probably hasn't really filtered through to everybody yet, but he had an enormous impact here in London, right around the UK. And of course, he was this huge icon in the music world right around the world, and that is why this is going to be such a shock to people. The news of his death was confirmed by the singer's son, Duncan Jones, and a statement was released on his official social media accounts. It reads, "David Bowie died peacefully today, surrounded by his family after a courageous 18-month battle with cancer. While many of you will share in this loss, we ask that you respect the family's privacy during this time of grief." David Bowie actually kept this battle with cancer a secret. Nobody really knew about this, although there were some rumours floating around, I guess, in the last year. Following a few public appearances, he wasn't really looking himself, and of course rumours surrounding his health were swirling around, but he did just release his last album just on Friday last week. It was released on his birthday. Of course, that led people to believe that he was in fact okay. So as I said, this is going to come as an enormous shock to people here. London just waking up at the moment to this news. It is going to be a very, very sad day here, Layla.
Amelia Ballinger in London, thank you. Let's go now to Richard Wilkins, who's in Los Angeles. And Richard, we did hear these rumours, as strange as he was in a motorcycle accident, he'd had a heart attack, even that he died a couple of years ago. But it did come as a shock because we were quite used to rumours when it came to David Bowie.
Well, plenty of rumours always surrounded Bowie. You know, people may be waking up in England. People are going home here in Los Angeles after the Golden Globe Awards, and instead of dancing in the street as he and Mick Jagger would have had us do a few years back, you know, people are actually crying. People are really sad here. David Bowie touched so many people, so many wonderful songs, from, you know, Space Oddity to Starman to, you know, Heroes to, you know, so many, Aladdin saying Ziggy, Stardust, so many incredible songs and incredible images over the years. He was the total rock star, just larger than life, but just such a lovely man. Of course, he, you know, he's got a couple of kids. He married Iman, the supermodel. They have a child together, and he kept himself to himself, which is why this is such a surprise, I think, because I don't think we knew that he was, you know, facing death, and now you listen to this album, Black Star, as Amelia said, released a couple of days ago, and he's talking about heaven and stuff. So he's left us a little something to remember him by. But one of the all-time greats, the pioneer of glam rock, you could say, a chameleon, a superstar. He worked with Jagger, he worked with Queen, he worked with John, he worked with all the biggest names, and he's an absolute legend, gone way too soon.
Decky, this album was his 25th. He also had 111 singles, and as you say, what a legacy he's left us. I know you spoke to him a few times over the years. We found one interview from 2003. Let's take a look at some of that now.
I wanted my work to be admired. I wanted to be a great writer and performer and all those other things, and fame would naturally come with all that, you know. But what I really wanted was to produce really good work and have other people recognise it for being that, you know.
Well, that's as he said to you, and I think he certainly achieved that, didn't he?
Mission accomplished, you know, ground control to Major Tom, well done. David Bowie had no problem with his music, and he's left a wonderful legacy of fantastic music and inspired a generation of people who'll be mourning his passing today, Layla. So, sad day.
As you said, though, not just a musical genius, but a cultural icon, and a lot of people, artists even today, borrow heavily from him, don't they, in terms of their reinvention and their showmanship?
Yeah, well, every time Bowie did something, it was different. You know, he reinvented himself all the time. He was a chameleon. You know, he'd have a different look, a different hairstyle. He was sort of androgynous. He kept us guessing. He said he was, you know, about his sexuality. Was he gay? Was he straight? Was he bisexual? You know, probably all of the above, I suggest. But, you know, he was a fascinating character, and, you know, he didn't give it all away. He kept a lot for himself, and you know, so many of these great songs. I mean, I'm sure I'm sure we'll be hearing them on the airwaves for, you know, days and weeks and months to come as we come to terms with this. But I think, you know, obviously we've all got to go at some time, but we weren't ready for this moment right now. It's a shock for everybody.
We certainly weren't, and no doubt his tunes are climbing the charts as we speak. Richard, thank you for sharing your memories of David Bowie. Thank you.
Thanks, Layla.